Oh, you are live.
All right, come on in, everybody. We'll get started here with straight to 8.
No.
Was
Okay.
it photo?
Is the camera on like?
That's fine.
Oh yeah.
Live.
You can see the presentation.
All right.
Yeah.
En dan zit het.
No.
First video.
The first video.
The other one,
no.
please.
The other one. Yes.
When I was 7 years old, my family and I, we should try to make life as decent as possible.
For Hope XXL, decent means good. It is not perfect, but it's much more than just sufficient. Let's define it as an 8 out of 10. Everybody is familiar with the number 8. It's not bound to any particular language or culture. But the 8 is more than just a number. It is our goal for the future. We should all be able to rate our life as good. Politicians and decision makers should take the 8 in account whenever taking any action, big or small. In our vision of the future, Hope XXL fully supports all of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. We are currently implementing the concept of the 8 in the Liemers, a region in the Netherlands. Also, the 8 is a reminder that we have not yet met our collective purpose. But most of all, the 8 is a symbol to communicate that we should try to make life as decent as possible. A concept exceeding the coming 15 years.
When others judge you, keep working hard while they make.
Yes. So. And then we go. So, hi everyone. My name is Lotte. I am 22 years old and I am one of the ambassadors of Youth Foundation Hope XXL.
Hello, I'm Leah. I'm very honored to be here. I'm 16 years old. And I'm really glad I can be here because otherwise I would have to be making a mathematics test.
Hello everyone. My name is Timo. I'm 17 years old and I'm also very happy to be here. I'm ambassador of Hope XXL as well. And I have a major LinkedIn addiction. So if you want to add me, you can.
He has.
It's been really bad.
Okay, so we want to thank you all for gathering here to join our session. Today we will talk about our mission straight to 8. Hope XXL first of all, I want to tell you, I know that we have the sessions and then at the end you can ask questions, but we want to encourage you to ask questions throughout the session as well, because this won't be just us talking and you listening. We want to talk about our mission, but also talk with you about our mission. I know there's been said we are on a time limit, but feel free to ask. Just raise up your hand or stand up and we'll answer it properly. Okay. So, this mission straight to 8, what is it? Well, Hope XXL wishes that at the end of the 21st century, so at the end of this century, everyone on this planet will grade their life with an 8 on a scale of 10. We want a decent world. We want a world we grade with give me a moment, please. Okay. In the video, we heard Olof Palme, he's former Prime Minister of Sweden, and he said we should aim for a decent world. And that's what Hope XXL says as well. We do not strive for a perfect world, but we say it has to be decent. And Hope XXL believes that carried by the young people, we're at the International Youth Conference, and in collaboration with the elderly, we can make this possible. And we do not only think this, but we know it from experience. Because before we are going to talk about this future we create with an 8 out of 10, we have to look back and tell you about what Hope XXL did in order to try to achieve this. And as you can tell, up until now we failed because, well, you all know it better than I do. You see it on the news, maybe you see it in your own neighborhood. there are still conflicts. The world is warming up, etc., etc. So we are not yet on that age, but we are hopeful, and that's why I really insist on your input right here. That together with all these people in the conference room, but also online through the live stream, we can really make some steps forward here. So, Hope XXL, we see it on the screen. It stands for Human Odyssey of People's Elevation. It started in 2008 with 10 people, 10 teenagers. You see them here. It's the first X gathering together 10 times, second X, in a region we call the Liemers, and that's the L. And the Liemers is where, next slide. The Liemers is where Hope XXL was initiated, and it's a small region in the east of the Netherlands. And all of this got a bit out of hand, but in a good way though, because these 10 people grew to be thousands of teenagers and young people, and Hope XXL managed to spread her wings far across the world and far more away than just the Liemers. And next slide. One of the ways we tried to reach out to those young people, and we tried to do this, was by organizing conferences, because it is in our deepest core value that young people have a say in the working method of Hope XXL. And the first conference we organized was in 2012, and you see here, some of you might know him. This is Kofi Annan. He is the former Guterres, Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations. And during this conference, young people came together to talk about their vision on the future. And Leah is going to talk more about that on a later point in this presentation as well. But together they made this list we now know as the Liemers list. You know Liemers from the region. And this list contains 80 points in which these young people describe what they see as a decent world. And that's what I want to ask you as well, because we are with young people as well here in this room, and we are also at a conference, so we might take this opportunity as well. I want you to think about what you think a decent world is for you, and I want you to summarize it in 3 words, like 3 keywords that stand out for you. And I also would like, if that's possible, if we can check the live stream. Maybe there are people watching and commenting, and ask them as well to give their 3 keywords. So, are there any persons here in this room who have words popping up their head when you think about a decent world? Yes?
Non-nuclear weapon.
Non-nuclear weapon. Yeah, sounds decent.
I think that's definitely important. When there is conflict on the rise, when there are nuclear weapons,
Yes.
I can't rate my life as an 8 or as decent when I'm being threatened. So
Exactly.
really good point. Anybody else?
Free of child abuse.
Free of child abuse, yes.
Incredibly important as well.
I agree.
Global food security.
Yes, really important.
For global food and security, yes.
Yes, that's some points that we have created in the Liemers list as well that young people were really passionate about. And
Yeah.
they wrote it down as well. Do we have some
It comes
interesting
down to
answers
these
here?
basic needs.
No, nobody.
Women and farming.
Sorry.
Women and farming.
Yes, that's really important as well. Absolutely.
Yes.
And also environment and climate change.
Yes, yes. And mostly stopping it, I think. We're trying to
Yeah.
reduce it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't have really any reactions from online. That's okay. We can
Yeah.
just go on.
We can go on to the presentation. Yes. Oh, that's the right slide. You can leave it there. And so, like we are here gathered here today, and like we had the honor of speaking to Kofi in the first conference, we continue to organize these conferences. You see the peace panorama. It was a conference where young people thought about world peace and world safety. I heard about.
What about you?
I heard some of you say words like that, which are similar to that. Oh, we have the wrong slide. Can you go slide back? Yeah. Um, and then we also had the AAA. You see it, it's the picture down there. You see like the balloons with the 8, and they are here as well. Timo will explain more about it later on. But the 8 kind of summarizes all of those 80 points in the Liemers list. And during the AAA conference, there were young people from Africa, Asia, the Pacific, and North and South America. And they came up with the idea of the 8. Like the people in the first conference came up with the idea of the list, and the people in the second conference were like, but we have to give it one symbol. We have to give it one word, one number, because those 80 points can be a lot to read and to understand. And then in 2015, we had the Hope XXL Global Summit, and it was the conference where the Liemers list was written, like checked out for the last time. It's checked out, like we go over it every 5 years, but the final version of the first Liemers list was made in this conference. No, it's not working. Yeah, thank you. I'll put this down here on the table. And so I talked to you about this 8. You see here in front, we have a little statue, and this is called the cumula. It's like the pretty design for this 8. And we had the honor and privilege to hand it out to some people as well. Here on the screen, we see Stefan Löfven. He was the former Prime Minister of Sweden. We were able to hand it out to Mark Rutte. He's the former Prime Minister of the Netherlands, where we come from, and he's right now the Secretary General of the NATO. And last, but definitely not least, Ahmed Al-Andawi. He was the former Youth of Envoy from the United Nations. And Ahmed Al-Andawi gave us a really nice opportunity, which Timo can tell.
So, in the picture you can see Ahmed Al-Andawi, who was the envoy on youth. And thanks to him and a lot of effort from Hope XXL, Yama, which you can see on the right from the same picture, got to tell the story of Hope XXL, the Liemers list, and the 8 at the United Nations. And about that, we also have the second short video.
When I was 7 years old, my family and I fled from Afghanistan to the Netherlands. Although I was young, I still have memories of it. The circumstances in Afghanistan were very bad at the time. Decades of war had consumed all fortunate and blessed people I know. Here in the Netherlands, life was different. I had the chance to develop myself, to learn, to play, to become a leader even. I know what it's like to live in a situation in which hoping for a better future is your only option. I joined Hope XXL because everyone deserves the same opportunity they have. A chance to shape your own future. A chance to achieve a life which you can rate as good. To achieve this, certain very fundamental criteria have to be met. If asked what she wants for a child, every mother all over the world will give about the same answer. These things are quite basic, at least for us. Food, water, shelter, security, healthcare, and education. We need good governance, sustainable development, and respect for our human rights. Unbelievable progress has been made in the opportunities of farms and sun. Thanks to scientific improvement, we, young people, can tackle global issues with a lot more means and a broader view than our predecessors. The power of the young mind and the knowledge of the elders combined with compassion can help us become the change we want to see. We can build bridges believed to be impossible. Global citizens, acting locally. Hope XXL wants to make sure that everyone on the planet raise their life as good. We've created a new perspective on the issues shared by young people. A list containing items on all the main issues of our time. Sustainability, economics, war and peace, and international cooperation. As a long-term vision for society, we aim to present that vision to the United Nations General Assembly. They will be asked to take the lead in implementing that vision. Therefore, the United Nations has to reinvent itself. In 1967, Martin Luther King called for world perspective. We are here to answer that. We stand at the gates of a new era. An era where we view each other as fellow citizens of the planet, where compassion does not end at the border of our national state, where we fight for each other instead of against each other. Treat others like you want to be treated. A golden rule which can be found in all cultures. The bar is set high, we have a long way to go, but the best is yet to come. We can see this future together. We all know what's at stake. I've lived through war and peace. I've seen poverty and abundance. I know from experience that tremendous achievements can be made. Let's work together to ensure that everyone can achieve a life they can grade as good. It always seems impossible until it's done.
So this was the video from Yama, and Yama got to tell the story of Hope XXL at the United Nations. And they listened very carefully, but unfortunately, after he told the story, they didn't do anything with it. They went on. They didn't contact us or did anything with the information we gave them. So we thought we have to do it better and again. So we went back to the Liemers, and here you can see a picture of Yama at the United Nations telling about the Liemers list. And we went back to the Liemers because we thought if we can implement the 8 and get the people in the Liemers to rate their life with an 8 out of 10, then we can show this to the global stage and they will see how we did it, how we achieved this. So on the next slide, I have a few examples of what we did in the Liemers. So in the left upper corner, you can see elderly people in coalition with young people making pancakes together to have a fun night. And on the right side, it's Thijs. Thijs made birdhouses and gave them away for free and discovered a lot of things from the Liemers list. On the left lower side, you can see Nick and Koen, who made a project about bees. And now we are still working on this actually right now. And the project developed, and now we are going to plant flowers for bees together with refugees. So we can break bubbles and achieve more things. And on the right lower side, you can see the Hope XXL podcast. Each week, we talk with different kind of people about happiness, how they rate it and how they achieve it. And now, 9 years later, we almost achieved the 8. A research from the University of Amsterdam by Maaike Bartels shows that the Liemers is at a 7.8 out of 10. So we thought, if we get the Liemers to an 8, we can show it to the world, how we do it and how they can do it as well. Because we think global and act local.
The 8, that's kind of everywhere, is our way of connecting the Liemers list, the Pact for the Future, the SDGs, and our People's Partnership. The United Nations is an organization that binds all of us in this room. And not just us in this room, it binds more than 8 billion people. But not a lot of these 8 billion people actually know what the United Nations does. And a large portion of what the United Nations does is actively working together towards the SDGs. But these are not very known to the public either. I mean, data from the Dell project shows that 8% of the people in the UK to 12% in the people of the United States know or somewhat declare to know what the SDGs in the UN are. That's an incredibly low percentage. In our country, the Netherlands, only 18% of the people say they know something about the UN, and maybe they're even lying. I mean, 60%, yeah, let's be honest. We do sound a lot smarter when we say we know what we're talking about, right? And 60% of Americans have never even heard of the UN and the SDGs. I mean, how are we going to work towards it? The first step towards working towards the SDGs is becoming aware of them. And once we become aware of them, we can work on an international, national, regional, and personal level. And like the United Nations Development Program has said, we need everyone's creativity, everyone's technology and know-how and financial resources to get to the SDGs. And once we become aware of these, we can actually act. And not just through governments, we can work through non-profits, companies, campaigns like Act Now, personal choices that we make in our daily lives, That's how we can get to the 8, once we become aware of them. As the video said, Martin Luther King once said we should try to develop a world perspective. And we think that's what the 8 could become. It could become something that binds all of us together. We're not working towards a utopia. As we like to call it, we're working towards an octopia. Because let's be honest, there will always be work to do, and nothing will ever be perfect. I think we can go to the next slide. Yes, with this common narrative, we can go straight to 8, as our session is called. Now I'll explain a little bit more about the Liemers list, as it's been discussed a lot. It's a list created in the Dutch region, the Liemers, where we're all from, and it's our vision of the future. It's the young people's vision of the future. It's been made by thousands of young people in collaboration with professors, experts, and politicians that have retired. Our world is constantly evolving, and so is our Liemers list. Since 2010, there have been 6 versions of the Liemers list, and we're revising it every 5 years. And you have been a part of revising it as well. The points we have made, the points that you can find in the Liemers list are points on democracy, transparency, good governance, water quality, security, peace, all incredibly important points for us. And as the Liemers list, we fully support the UN's SDGs. But they will work to 2030, and we will work towards the end of the 21st century. And that's incredibly important to us. And if you want to learn more about our Liemers list, please come and join us. We'll have a QR code up, and please research our site. There's so much to learn. Okay, we're here, let's be honest, for the Pact of the Future and the UN. So I'll give some light to that as well. The Sustainable Development Goals and the Pact of the Future are there to create a sustainable future in which no one feels left behind. That's important to us as well. And the Pact for the Future is one of the ways we can get to a good life. And the points that are made in the Pact of the Future are really resonating with the points that we made in the Liemers list, created by young people. Just to give a few examples of this, human rights are incredibly important. Without human rights, we can't call our life decent. So in the Pact of the Future, it says that we need to reaffirm our human rights and fulfill them. And that's something you can find everywhere in the Liemers list. Those are incredibly important. But things like good governance and the great role that they play in our current crises, such as food security, poverty, and houses, and how they should bring good health and good education towards their civilians. That's something that we believe could reach the 8 and could reach the Sustainable Development Goals. Moreover, we also believe that the mandate of the International Court of Justice is incredibly important. That's what young people have thought about for 10 years with us. We think it is incredibly important. So we hope that many of the points of the UN Pact of the Future will be adopted and will be made work out of. Yes.
So thank you all so much for listening. We have on the screen the QR code. On the left is the website, so you can learn more about Hope XXL, the goals and everything. And on the right side is for a WhatsApp community with young people from all over the world. We will come together and think more about the 8. How can we get it on a global scale? How can we rate everybody's life with an 8? So maybe if there are questions, we can get to the questions. Otherwise, we still have a fun activity for at the end.
To close it.
Oh, thank you.
I think there are no questions. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sorry if I don't
Okay.
make it very short. I am very happy and I love your presentation. It was very educated. And one thing that I learned from it as a takeaway is that the world is a global village. What do you think does not affect you, even if it is 1,000 miles away from where you live, will directly or indirectly affect you? So I am very happy about your presentation. It is very interesting and educative. And congratulations for giving us this kind of hope.
Thank you.
And I love the way you're doing things with the survey and trying to see what things are important for other people and how this impact the general public, not sidelighted any group of people doing it for the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
for
much.
your comments.
No, but I do think it's incredibly important to have hope. As young people, we often hear that we are doomed, that we're never going to get there. But it's good to have hope and to know that we can do things. You know, we can make an impact, and that's exactly what our foundation is about. Impact on a regional level is still impact. Impact on an international level is impact. But you know, it's about giving young people, a voice, and it's really good to hear that.
Yeah, and hope is in our name, Hope XXL. So I like that you choose specifically that word, because that's what we're trying to. That's the message we try to spread.
Yeah, change will not come if we wait for it by other persons, another time. We are the change we've been seeking for. We are the ones we are waiting for.
Yes.
So it's important. Yeah, it's really important to keep hope and to keep doing things, because if we just sit on our chairs and be like, yeah, we're doomed, we're not gonna do anything, it won't work. I heard a great example this morning about a small hummingbird who brought water to the fire, and I think it was like a great example.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do what they can, even if it's not much. Everything helps.
Yes. Are there any other questions? Yeah, back.
Just join the WhatsApp group. What are some of the advantages?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Just join the WhatsApp group.
Oh, you just.
Add code.
Yes.
What are some of the advantages? You just don't want to join the app.
So why you should join the group? What is in it for you? Well, like we said, the Liemers list is a continuously developing list, and so is Hope XXL as well. And we do not want to seem like persons who are here telling you what to do and how to get to an 8, because the world, like, we're all in this world, and we aren't the persons with all the knowledge. So the advantage is that we would like your input on it as well. And for example, we are thinking about creating, for instance, in the first place, an online conference meeting. So we can talk about this as well and hear your thoughts on it. And it can be critical too. Like you gave us a really nice compliment, but I can imagine that there are also things in there you think like, I have a different thought on that, and that's also what we like.
Yeah, we're a foundation that is started in the Netherlands, but we're not just here for the Netherlands. We need everyone's opinion, and my vision might be different from yours, but that doesn't mean it's less valuable. It's just as valuable, and that's why we want everyone's opinion. That's why we have that WhatsApp group. Does that explain your question? Okay.
Yep. First of all, I must commend you for the breakthrough, considering your age. I bet high school kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
You guys,
I'm a bit older.
is the youngest panel here, if I get it right. And it's quite impressive because it's both interactive and interactive. So I think that is a big leap for you guys. And we can always, as delegate, we can always, commend you for keeping the momentum and continue to widen your network as you are planning. So that is phenomenal, because that's the way you guys are the younger generation. We might be young, but you are the younger generation. Okay. My question will be, consider when I go through your slides and short videos, it's very impressive. I just want to ask if you ask, whether you have a specific objective that hope in terms of have an impact in the world, a specific, like it could be 2 or 3. I know you have a long list, but the objective, do you have anything, or you are still under construction?
Well, I think I can answer this one. The really objective is to have every single person on Earth rate their life with an 8. So an 8 on a scale of 10.
Okay.
And we have like a lot of ways to get there. And we don't have one specific format that fits for each person, because we're all different human beings. So we have the Liemers list with the 80 points to get everyone to the 8. So the goal is for everyone the same, but the way to get there is different for everyone.
And to make it even more concrete, we would like this thing way bigger and then at the front of United Nations building.
But if you want to learn more about our objectives, I would absolutely recommend having a look at our site. We just translated the Liemers list to English, so it should be accessible to most of you here today. And you can read it. You can read about all the things that these young people from all over the world really find. It's a list of objectives. It's a list of the vision of the youth. So I would say, yeah, the Liemers list is our objectives.
And also, see your hand. Also come to us, like we are here today, but also tomorrow still. So
we're always.
Nice. So have you all ever spoken at the UN before?
Yama has. So us three, we haven't. But yes, our foundation has.
Okay, you have somebody who spoke before that.
Yes, Yama has. Yes.
All right, we talk after, whenever.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, what we really wanted to do is, because you're all here together with us, we want to take a picture with all the aides and you all, so we can have like a little memory of us all and going towards the age.
Yes, like the previous conference, you saw all the balloons. Like we kind of we took them here again.
Whatever
is like easier.
I'm gonna look at the organization. What's easier if we go towards them or if they go towards us?
In this room, we can do whatever feels comfortable, and we can do also
outside.
Yeah,
should we go outside?
That way we can take a wider view.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go outside and let's take some drinks with us.
I am eight.
Yes, you are an 8.
Do you want to hold the egg? Who wants to hold the balloon?
I'll also be taking a picture so I can put on the IOIC Instagram.